No phone, no Netflix, no music streaming, no social media, no internet, no books, nothing. That is the world ancient humans woke up to every single day. And they were not bored out of their minds. They were thriving. So what exactly were they doing? Let's start with a question that scientists have actually studied. Did ancient humans even experience boredom? The answer is yes. Almost certainly. Boredom appears to be a fundamental feature of the human brain, not a modern invention. Neuroscientists have identified a brain network called the default mode network, which activates specifically when we have nothing demanding our attention. When it fires, we feel restless, unfocused, and seeking stimulation. In other words, bored. Ancient humans felt this exactly as we do. The same network, the same restlessness, the same drive to do something, anything, to fill the time. But here is what is fascinating. What they chose to do with that restlessness ended up shaping the entire course of human civilization. Let's start with the oldest form of entertainment ever found: music. In 2008, archaeologists in Germany found bone flutes in a cave in the Swabian Alps. They were made from vulture bones and mammoth ivory, and they were 40,000 years old. 40,000 years old. And they were not rough or accidental. They were carefully crafted instruments, with precisely placed holes designed to produce specific musical notes. Ancient humans were not just banging rocks together. They were making melody. They were creating music for the pleasure of it. And where there is music, there is almost always dance. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer societies have found that communal dancing is universal across every culture ever studied. Dance was not just entertainment. It was social glue. It synchronized heartbeats. It released endorphins in the group simultaneously. It created a feeling of togetherness that strengthened the tribe. Scientists call this social bonding through rhythmic movement. It is why music and dance still give us chills, make us cry, and make us feel connected to strangers at concerts today. Now let's talk about storytelling. Because ancient humans were extraordinary storytellers. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years studying the Jew/Hone Bushmen of the Kalahari, one of the world's last remaining hunter-gatherer societies, and found something remarkable. During the day, conversations were almost entirely practical. Food, work, problems to solve. But at night, around the fire, everything changed. At night, 81% of their conversations were stories, myths, legends, tales of distant places and extraordinary events. Wiesner concluded that firelight storytelling at night was one of the primary mechanisms through which ancient humans transmitted knowledge, values, history, and imagination across generations. The fire extended the social day. It gave people protected time in the dark, and they filled that time with stories. Now let's talk about games. Because ancient humans love to play. The oldest board game ever found is called Senet, discovered in ancient Egypt, dating back over 5,000 years. But evidence of game playing goes back much further. Archaeologists have found simple dice made from animal bones at sites going back 8,000 years. Knucklebone games, where animal ankle bones were thrown like dice, have been found across dozens of ancient cultures on every continent. Ancient children played with toys. Archaeologists have found ancient dolls, miniature human figures made from clay, wood, and stone, at prehistoric sites going back thousands of years. They played chase. They wrestled. They threw things at targets. They competed against each other in tests of speed, strength, and accuracy. Play was not separate from learning. When ancient children played chase, they were practicing evasion. When they threw rocks at targets, they were practicing hunting accuracy. When they wrestled, they were practicing combat. Ancient adults also played. Hunting sometimes became sport. Competitions between tribes were recorded in almost every culture. Now let's talk about art. Because ancient art was not just decoration. It was one of the most powerful forms of entertainment and meaning ever invented. The cave paintings at Lascaux in France are over 17,000 years old. The art at Sulawesi in Indonesia is over 45,000 years old. The first artists we know of were painting extraordinary detailed animals tens of thousands of years before writing was invented. Scientists studying cave art have found something fascinating. Many paintings were created at specific points in the cave where the acoustics were most powerful. Researchers believe ancient people gathered at these sites for ceremonies combining art, music, and the extraordinary acoustic effects of deep caves. A prehistoric concert hall. A prehistoric cinema. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. Ancient humans gossiped. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar, who famously calculated how many friends a human brain can maintain, also found that around 65% of all human conversation across cultures is social gossip. Who is with whom? Who did what? Who can be trusted? Who cannot? Ancient gossip was not trivial. It was how ancient humans tracked social relationships and alliances across the tribe. Now here is the most fascinating thing about all of this. Boredom was not the enemy of ancient humans. It was the engine. Every great human invention, art, music, storytelling, religion, mathematics, science, began in a mind that had nothing else to do and started wondering. The default mode network, the brain's boredom system, is also its imagination system. It is the same network that generates creativity, daydreaming, and problem solving. Ancient humans could not suppress boredom with a screen, so their brains went somewhere else instead. Into imagination, into creation, into the questions that built human civilization. Modern research shows that people who allow themselves to be bored score significantly higher on creativity tests. The next time you are bored and reach for your phone, consider what an ancient human would have done instead.